go off so that way. And we are live. Welcome to the first edition of Fat 420's Pitstop with Ty and Steve. I am, of course, Fat 420. We got Ty over there in the corner. In the bottom corner, we got Adam and Steve. Adam is going to be our producer for the show, so he's going to be backstage because
we'll see. If I fuck up really hard, I'm not going to produce the show anymore. But we'll see.
Right. But hey, it's the first show. We're going to have a little bit of mistakes, but so anyway, I am, of course, Fat 420. I've been into racing ever since I can remember. I've never raced, so that's why I wanted to do a show like this to, give out information, talk about different things and whatnot. Like tire prep, engine prep, track prep, things of that nature. So that's me, and we will go to Ty to introduce himself.
Name's Ty. I've been around racing all my life. My grandfather raced, my uncle raced, I raced, my brother raced one night. We'll get into that. He's the tire guy. We run a B mod here in Peoria. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
All right. How about you, Steve?
Shit. Here we go.
How's your involvement into racing?
I started racing and been building cars. When worked on in the early 90s. I actually owned my own Hornet. We love the Hornets, man. For a couple of years till I got divorced. But I got hooked up with a family out of Decatur, the Bennett's, and man, they just made you talk about a racing family. So I've been with them for my second family.
Right.
I'm more old school, I haven't been around other than watch it here or there for 10, 12 years. So
right.
Cars have changed a lot.
Right. And that's why I picked Ty and Steve, because Ty's new school and been around.
Yeah.
And then Steve's old school. So when we talk about things, we can talk about the old school way, the new school way, and things of that nature.
Exactly.
So we'll talk about that later with tire prep and tires in general. So right now we will do information on races upcoming.
Oh.
So Peoria is off this week, but in 2 weeks they're going to have, on the 31st, they're going to have MOA, however you want to say it, 410 sprints and MAR midgets. They're going to have support classes of B mods, Hornets, and mods. The pits open up at 3 o'clock. Grandstands open up at 4. They do a pill draw there. So, and then is at 5, drivers meeting, hot laps, and time trials to follow. Now, I have seen some of these MAWA and MARA midgets race, and they're fast. They're super fast. So that's going to be a good show. I believe it's going to be probably, what do you say, about $20-25 to get in for that one?
I would say.
So, that's that one. And then I'm still new at this too, so sorry, guys. And then this next one is going to be, there we go. That one is going to be the Spoon River, where it's going to be their spring nationals for a 2-day show. It's a 10,000 to win B mod.
Wow.
1,000 to win for Hornets. 500 to start for B mods. 150 to start for Hornets. And if you know anything about Hornet pay, just getting the start for that show is about twice as much
as winning,
as what they do to win a regular race. So that's going to be cool. It's going. If you can't make it, it's going to be on Flow.
Yeah, it is today.
But that's today. That's tonight. So after the show, if you're in the area, you can either go there or watch it if you wish.
I will probably be racing the fall nationals there.
The fall
Oh,
national, yeah, because they're gonna have a fall national for B mods and stuff, which is really cool. And then Saturday they're also going to have the pro late models there as well, with 1,200 to win. The B mains and features are on Sunday, so that's the next day. So basically, tonight will be qualifying and the B main, or stuff like that.
Yeah, it'll be heat races, qualifying, and then I don't know if they'll do B mods tonight or B mains tonight or tomorrow. Usually they do on a 2-night show. They do B mains the second night.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, I just reread that. It is the B mains, and they don't even have the price on there. I'm going to say it's going to be about what, 25-30 for that one.
Probably because I think Spoon charges $20 for every night. I think.
Yeah, they're at 20 for every night, so yeah, it's going to be probably about $30. So, nevertheless, that's going to be this weekend. And last but certainly not least, we have
I'm the Magic Man. I disappeared.
Damn.
Yeah, so that one is going to be at LaSalle in 2 weeks with a Mars show for late models and I believe mods. So
Yeah, I think they're running mods on that night.
and that if you haven't been to LaSalle, that's actually a really nice track. I've enjoyed the few times I've been there. As it says right there, 5,000 to win 2 times on Friday and 2,500 to win on Saturday. So, yeah, and that's probably going to be
25,000 to win.
Yeah, 25,000. So that's going to be basically probably about $30-$40, and I'm sure it's going to be
Shannon Bab.
Sure, it's going to be on float. The big boys are going to be there. I mean, like the professionals.
Yeah.
So, nevertheless, that's the shows upcoming that I decided to share. So with tires, Steve in our group chat showed a late model tire that looked like someone put like a clear glaze over it, and I thought that was kind of interesting because it's like, how would something like that happen when you're on dirt? So maybe Ty can give a little bit of information on maybe why it would do that, because I thought it was kind of interesting.
Well, even on dirt, the track will actually get dry slick, and then it'll actually start taking rubber.
Right.
So if your tires get super, super hot and it's taking rubber, it's taking off as much rubber as it's going to while you're going into the turns and all that. So that's why if you ever see, it doesn't happen much anymore, but like when I used to watch over at Fairbury, the guy would be on the top side and he's moving, but then a caution comes out and he probably has a 40. I don't know if people know that you got an LM. Well, you used to have an LM10. I don't think they go down that low anymore.
Right.
But they go LM20, 30s, and 40s.
Right.
And a lot of guys would put on, for a local night, because it was 30 laps, they would put on like a 30 probably. And then some guys would put on a 40. Well, it takes a while for that 40 to get warm and actually work.
And is that because it's like harder or more?
Yes. So
dense?
20s are going to be your softest. 30s going to be your middle road. And then 40s are going to be your hard tire. Well, you do have LM55s, but we won't talk about those. Those things are harder than a bull's ass. So.
Yeah. And we won't talk about how bad Goodyear dirt track late model.
Yeah, those things. Yeah, I got 4 of them if anybody's looking for some. But so a 40, if it gets hot and let's say a caution comes out, it can actually glaze over. And basically it loses all its basically traction, basically. Because
integrity, stuff like that.
Yeah, because you got one guy that got all the way up to second, and then a caution comes out, and then a green flag flies and he's going backwards because those tires, they glazed over. So that's why you see a lot of them, they'll go right in the rubber and they'll try to keep them hot during the caution, you know. It's kind of like the modifieds. So the modifieds, we can run 30s and 60s.
Right.
So 30s is our softest compound, 60s are our hard compound. So like on the beginning of the night, I might start with a 30, but by feature time, it also depends on the laps. I might put on a 60 for the feature. Excuse me. And but at Peoria, I haven't been racing yet this year. I don't know how the track has totally looked during feature time during the B mods, but we may put on a 30 one night and just be like, you know what, we're going to roll with a 30. And if it's the wrong choice, I'll just blame the tire guy.
The past 2 times I've been to Peoria, it looks like it's just getting ready to it took the rubber. It's not totally like glaze slicked over, but it looks like it's like a tacky glaze, if that makes sense.
Well, go ahead, Steve.
Because look can be deceiving. You really gotta step out before feature time and see,
right?
And touch the track and see. You know, I know.
I took screwdrivers.
Yeah, see how hard it is. Yeah,
right.
Because sometimes that moisture actually will come back up.
Yep.
So,
kind of like when you're running it, just kind of like shakes it and then it just brings it up. And
yeah. I'm not sure how it goes. I'm not like a scientist, but somehow the moisture comes back up.
Yeah.
Right. And with those kind of tires, if that happens, can you like take those angle grinders and grind it back down and reuse them, or is that just like a done tire?
It depends on how much damage is done to the tire.
Right.
If the treads are not very good, you might as well pitch it because it's not. Well, see, like the big guys that run, like the World of Outlaws, they usually only run a tire one night.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they sell it off to the local guys. I know a guy that he only uses one tire for qualifying a night. So he puts on that tire for qualifying, and then he dismounts it and gets rid of it.
Oh.
I don't know how he has that much money, but yeah.
Right, yeah. And I know a lot of modified drivers that race the A mods. They'll do the same thing and then they'll turn around and sell it for like $50 or something to the B mod drivers.
Oh.
A lot of times.
Yeah, because I had a deal one time. A driver knew me. He called me and he said, "Hey, I got some used tires. Do you want them?" And I ended up getting probably 5 or 6 tires that were on a UMP modified, but they were good for a B mod.
Right.
And all we had to do was basically grind them and just check the grooves and stuff like that. So
now, with that said, in a B mod with those tires, can you sipe them and groove them again, or does it just depend on the track?
I believe you can. I haven't really looked at the tire rules this year as probably I should have, but but like right now I have at least three sets of tires that I know are good.
Right.
I have 3 brand new Hoosers that haven't even been mounted.
Right. I remember seeing those.
I'm planning on mounting them. If I can, I'll probably wait to mount them for the big show in the fall.
In the fall, yeah, so that way you can have some fresh tires.
Yeah, for the Siegel Memorial.
Right. Oh, and in fact, that's what they say it was $10,068 to win for that one.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
And my goal this year is just to make the show.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
If I don't make the show, but the car's in one piece, I'll be happy. Because
Right.
I mean, there's going to be like, well, because, and I'm not trying to sound like a little bitch here, but with $10,000, you're going to have your Chastain moving up. You'll have your Weiser moving up. They're moving down. I meant Chastain moving down. Weiser moving down. I know there was a BMOD race at Fairbury one time, and Kevin Weaver
I wouldn't be surprised.
drove.
Mike McKinney.
Yeah, Mike McKinney and all
Mike
these.
McKinney will go down. Yeah.
Ray
So,
Bollinger.
I mean, I will be in
Mm-hmm.
company of great drivers.
Yeah.
And if I can make the show, that's a win for me.
And you know, and Ty and I know those drivers that he just mentioned, and they're pretty good drivers. So
And they're great. Yeah, they're great drivers. I'm not saying they're not, but
a great as in, you know, they'll race you clean.
yes,
It's just, you know, you got the other BMOD drivers that, you know.
sorry, bro.
So. Okay, well, yeah, we need a good tire guy, Eric, and unfortunately, that's not you. But thanks for showing up, everybody.
We might argue with that tire guy.
Here's another question: when you get those tires from the bigger guys, and if they're already been siped and stuff, is it one of those things where it's just like what we said earlier, where as long as you don't really get the top three, it'll be okay type of thing? Or do you think they would like frown upon it and like dock you points and stuff?
Well, see, I always learned this from a buddy of our family. It's a gray area.
Right.
So it's one of those deals where if you get caught, you get caught. If not, hey.
All the better,
You know,
right?
Yeah. I mean, when we were still running late models, we got a couple tires from a good family friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
And they were supposed to be 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that thing and it was soft.
Oh.
And I looked at him and I said, "Do I need to know what you did to this thing?" And he goes, he said, "Don't worry about it." So
Right.
I pretty much just went on my way.
That pretty much told you that he probably tire doped it.
Probably, but you know,
Probably.
but me being, you know, new to the late model driving, I should say. What are you going to be then, Eric? The fuel man?
The fuel man.
That's even worse.
The fuel man. So that means if Ty's going around the track and we see the cat flying off while he's going around turns 1 and 2, we can blame the fuel guy for that. So, and okay, here's another thing. Since we touched a little bit on it, like with Goodyear, which Ty says are shit.
They are shit. They're shit in NASCAR too, but
right. That's for another time and story. But how about McQuarrie's or American Racers?
I didn't have much.
Hard as a motherfucker.
I did hear that, Steve. I heard they were harder.
McQuarrie's, yeah, I'm MCA baby. McQuarrie's are the worst fucking tire. We used to put them on cars. They were good enough to run on your fucking your car.
Right. You know, the funny thing, you know, now that you said that, I remembered there's this racer, and Ty probably remembers them. You remember Mark Anderson that raced late models at Fairbury?
I know Mark Anderson that ran modified the Spoon River.
Well, his name was he was the number 6, and he raced late models all the time up there. He actually, when he got done with them, he'd actually put them on the back end of his pickup truck and ran them around town until they just disintegrated and stuff. And
yeah, we didn't have much. I didn't have much time with McQuarrie's or any of those tires. American Racers.
Yeah. Good things. Thank God.
I did see them a lot in the Champ Dirt cars.
Right.
They'd use them around the big old rear tires, which when I was young, man, I thought those were so cool.
Yeah,
Right.
the fucking bigger tire, the better.
He's going to be the
Okay.
jack man? All right.
Batman.
Fill in crew chief.
Fill in crew chief. Because
But we went to we bought 4 brand new Hoosier tires for the late model one year when I was driving it. And I went down to Hoosier Tire there in Springfield.
Right.
I was a kid in a candy store.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
They had a big old, I'm going to guess it was a sprint car tire. It could have been a Champ Dirt car tire. But that thing was huge. And I looked at my grandfather and I said, that's a good stagger tire. I said, you think they'd allow us to run that on the right rear?
Right. And here's another thing I've noticed. How are they that soft to be pliable where every time I see a brand new one, they're always folded in? Is that what the case?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes.
The sidewalls are maybe a little bit softer than like a normal car tire?
No, because like my modified tires back there, the brand new ones,
right.
The sidewalls are pretty stiff.
Right.
And they can be a bitch to put on a rim. Especially,
I know all about that because your
especially
grandfather.
Ariel.
I went over one time to visit him, and he was changing tires on the late model, and let's just say I've heard every single cuss word under the book in 5 minutes with him.
That's how I learned how to. That's how I learned how to cuss.
Yeah,
and dodge a wrench.
Right.
A fucking screwdriver.
Yeah, that too. He put cuss words together I didn't know went together.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. So, since we're talking about tires, do you think, without it messing up, you think you can take your phone and show the tires real quick?
No, you're giving away my secrets, man.
Oh.
Well, you don't have to show the number, but
so there's a right front tire that we're gonna run. I can't really get to the rest of it because my garage is a mess right now.
Yeah,
we're working on that right now.
But
I got an enclosed trailer, so a lot of this stuff's gonna go into the enclosed trailer.
Right, and like I said, when it's folded over, it looks like they just squished it in, and then it's convexed, whatever it's called, and then you just pop it out, and
see, and I got smart, so if it's a beadlock, I can do it here at home.
Yep.
But I got I don't know if my connection's still up there at Roanoke Ford, but I had one that would not break off of a non-beadlock. And I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried. And I'm like, you know what? Screw this. To the point where one of the non-beadlocks, I took my Sawzall to the tire.
I remember that.
Because the tire was junk. I mean, it was junk. So I was like,
was junk. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, so I took a Sawzall to it. So then I took it up to Roanoke Ford and I said, hey guys, is there any way you can mount these? And then of course they were like, well, what vehicle is it on?
Exactly, yeah.
I'm like, it's a dirt race car. He's like, okay, hold on. And he looks at the computer and he goes, I'm just going to put this under your F-150. And I'm like, sure, why not?
Whatever, yeah.
So they did it, and I think they only charged me like $60.
Right.
My.
But what was funny was the kid comes out and he goes, do I need to balance these? I'm like, no, dude. Yeah. You'll be there forever balancing these things.
Right.
He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just what a tire would look like after it's been raced or ran a little bit, so.
And I'm pretty sure they siphoned that tire, but we won't get into that.
Out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah.
I see. That's where things change for you young pups. We go back to old school. We weren't allowed to touch our fucking tires. you got your fucking Hoosier from fucking, like I said, we were even getting, you either got D's for dirts or your fucking A for asphalt. You know, and
Right.
you didn't get this. You didn't get to groove it. We didn't get to sipe it. We didn't get to grind it. We got to flip it. You know, if it started to wear, we flipped it.
Damn asphalt drivers.
You know, we always had one set of A's we ran on the big tracks, like on the mile. We would run asphalt tires on the mile.
Mm-hmm.
I could almost see that. I want to run the mile. I really do. I want to run DeCoin.
Oh, you gotta have some big cajones.
And I really want to run. I really want to run it once, but
right.
The boss says no for now.
Yeah, I don't want to piss off the boss. So,
well, you know.
Now the main boss, he said go ahead.
All right. Okay.
The 5-year-old's the real boss.
Oh. Yeah.
I was thinking of the Mrs. Boss.
That's who said no. Right now, but
you know, I think I've had a car on DuQuoin, I've had a car on Springfield, and I've had a car on Indianapolis, all on the mile. And I think DuQuoin was probably, I felt, the safest with my drive after this. Like DuQuoin has a little more bank in the corner.
yes,
Springfield's fucking really flat, and so is Indianapolis.
Well, like DeCoin is like a multi-purpose track. They actually made it. They made it into where you can run horses, but they have enough there safety-wise to run cars.
Right.
Springfield, it's like they just said horses.
That's fucking horses, yep.
And then all you got is a guardrail.
Yep.
For a wall. Which Grandpa was down there at Springfield when that guy died in a modified.
Oh, yeah, George. Yeah.
Yeah, he hit it. I think his throttle stuck, Steve. Is that what happened?
Yeah, yeah.
And he went into turn one and
went his fucking head on.
And you know, I think if the track was more banked, he probably would have been hurt. Yeah. But I don't know if he would have been dead. Right. But of course, all that safety measure in these cars now, like I got a full containment seat.
Oh yeah.
I got hold on, I'll show you.
Isn't it a sprint car seat that you have in there, basically? Didn't you tell me the other day?
Yes, I do.
Oh, it's just...
So, I have a head neck restraint.
Oh, wow.
So...
Now, are those required now?
They are not required.
They're not required?
They are not. They are not. As far as I know, they are not required.
Right. So...
but yeah, according to... not according to, I should say, but compared to like in the 80s safety safety, oh my goodness. I mean, you had guys wearing tennis shoes.
Oh yeah.
You guys wearing shorts and t-shirts and I
wore fucking sweatpants. I did have a fucking fire jacket. And fucking tennis shoe boots.
Yeah.
And I had $150 pair of Simpson gloves.
I'll say this and then we'll go back to the tires real quick, but didn't Senior Schickel used to wear nothing but cowboy boots with his fire suit?
I don't know if that was Senior.
I think so.
I thought it was Senior that did that.
I know there was one guy that did because Grandpa used to bring him up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I didn't mean to get off topic, but safety is a big thing.
It's all good. It's okay to go on rabbit trails once in a while. But anyway, what I'm saying now is, have you ever heard or seen of these guys? I think it's more of an East Coast thing, where they'll take the actual asphalt tires and actually groove them into late model tires.
That must be an East Coast thing because I haven't seen it around here anyway.
Right.
They'll take the Hoosier asphalt tires, and then they'll take the groover and just actually groove the squares into it, and then they'll do all the rest of the stuff. I guess it sounds like they're a little bit thicker, so that way they can do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it around here, but so shoot. Yeah, just
tires. So basically, tires in general, it depends on what track you're at. There's gray areas to it. There's things you can do with it, and basically, it depends on how much money you have. It sounds like you can do a lot of different things with the tires.
It's all it is money. Now, I mean, it's getting bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to run open mod this year. That's why I put the old late model motor in there.
Right.
And I looked at, I talked to my wife, I talked to my grandfather, I talked to my other silent partners, and I told him, I said, if I'm going to run a mod, I'm going to need to buy at least 2 tires a week.
Mm-hmm.
And with tires being, I think they're 160 some dollars a piece.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. I can't do it.
Right. Yeah. And you definitely need a big horse.
Thanks, TJ.
Our boss says, since I have a moment, I would like to congratulate you guys on your main broadcast and officially welcome you the show to the Mayhem's Amigos family. I'm proud of all 3 of you. That's very much appreciated. And that anything goes wrong today, we're going to blame it on the tire guy.
But well, right now that's Ben apparently on my crew.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, apparently I'm the new tire guy now. So,
well, you better be in the pits getting my tires ready then. Hey, the good thing is the trailer has an built-in air compressor.
Oh shit, that's nice.
So, yeah,
shit.
you're gonna get spoiled. We have a pit lift too.
You gonna be able? Do you plug in at the end of the trailer? Or you gotta still walk the hose. You plug it in the trailer. Oh shit!
It's got 2 plug-ins. It's got one on the walk-in door, and it has one on the in the back.
So it sounds like you need to save up a little bit of money and get one of those tire demons.
See, I have a tire mounter. Like you put it on, and you can rotate it. I think you can rotate it. Shit, I don't know.
Well, there you go. Set that beside the side door, and tire guy will be doing whatever to prep the tires. And
you mean you?
I guess I'll be doing that now. I used to be the media guy for Ty's team.
You just do the front ones on it, right? You just take the back ones off to prep them.
Yeah. You prepare them all, don't you? Or
prepare? I prepare usually. Me and my crew chief, Mike. He still technically is the crew chief in a way. He might have to step away from going every weekend, but I have other people that can step in. But we usually prepped the left rear, the right rear, and the right front. Especially on the Pierce. But now that we're going to the Rayburn, we're going to have to learn what we're going to have to do. So this is a whole new different ball game.
So this is the last year's chassis?
No.
Yeah,
so this is going to be a learning curve for all of us because I'm going from a 3-link to a 4-ball.
Okay.
So it's going to be a challenge, but I'm ready for it.
Right, and I've noticed that too. At least at Peoria, you can do both of them as long as you have that crate motor in there.
Yeah, well, you can do both of them even if you have their open motor thing too. Yeah. So yeah, all you have to do is push the button and the car goes up because of that pit lift.
God damn you motherfuckers got to I so wish nowadays. You know, we had a lift, but it was one of them big pneumatic ones that you had to roll out of the fucking trailer and you fucking plug their hose into it and raise up one end of the car, then go around the front.
Yeah, and we'll that's
those
lifts are pretty cool because it's like maybe that big, but it'll
yeah, you can drive the car right over it, which is
right.
nice.
Yeah, you can drive the car right over it, and then you just the I guess Eric, since he's the new jack man, he'll just push the button and it goes beep,
Yeah, because
right in the middle of the car, and it just lifts it right up, and all 4 tires are all off and safe and everything. And
yeah, so I'm gonna touch on my team real quick.
but yeah, go ahead and do that real quick because
My uncle's my crew chief.
uh-huh.
He is the guy that I lean on the most.
Oh,
Like I said,
he raced and he's been around it himself since he was born. And
yes, and he is. I want to say he's my rock when it comes to this because it's awesome.
Yeah,
me and him get along very well on race day. My grandfather and I do not. I don't know why, but we do not. That's why he just stays in the stands most of the time now, because it's like I can't. So
well, yeah,
and my wife gets mad at me on race day because I'm one of those drivers that I'm there to do a job.
Right.
I don't like people bothering me. Now if it's a kid, of course, I will talk to a kid. Whatever.
Right.
But yeah, let's not get totally off topic. But Mike is my crew chief. He is like I said, my solid crew chief. But with work and life and work, he's kind of had to step away a little bit. So I have a buddy, Ryan. He is he's a diesel mechanic.
Oh,
he knows the basics.
Right.
And he is very good at quick learning. I mean, he is
right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
very good. And like I said, he's like a brother to me. And then we have my brother. He's the old tire guy. Apparently he's going to be the jack guy this year. Apparently that's what he says he's going to be. But he also filled in crew chief at Spoon River 2 years ago.
Right.
And he did a very good job. I came in, I told him what was going on with the car. He said, "Do you want to make any changes?" And I said, "You know what? Let's not make any changes."
Oh, that was tough. That was tough.
Right.
Yeah. And he goes, "Well, let's change the air pressure."
Oh, yeah.
So we did do that. And I missed the feature by I think 2 spots or 1 spot, I think.
Right.
And the reason why is because they kept putting a stupid car in front of me that I passed 5 laps ago.
Yep.
I don't know why they kept putting him in front of me, but they kept putting it in front of me, and I put my hand out, and they came over the radio and they said, "Put your hand back in, or you're going to be disqualified."
I stopped. I fucking stopped on the fucking. I stopped in the judges stand.
Yeah. So
I passed him 5 fucking times.
Well, here's a backstory about my family in Spoon River.
Oh no.
My grandfather has a reputation down there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
And whenever our cars go down Spoon River, they check our cars like a fine-tooth comb.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And they saw that I was related to him, my grandfather.
Right.
So somehow I get screwed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I get it. Yeah.
But next is, and then my brother, like I said, my brother does an awesome job. He helps when he can. And, he has a little daughter, and I really appreciate all my help.
Right. Yeah.
Ben has stepped up. He came over.
Me.
Yeah. 420. Sorry. He's came over a few times and helped with setting the motor. He's pretty much
behind the scenes, basically what Adam's doing now.
Yeah. He is my media guy. He has taken over the Facebook page, which it's Stutzman Killian Racing. Sorry, I'm kind of promoting myself here.
That's fine.
Go over there, like the page. We try to update it every week, but with
I'll put the link after the show for everybody. So
with everything's going on, here. because we've been pretty busy this year.
We'll even post a picture of the new Jack guy making a funny face and going, "Hey, if this is what you look like when you find out a pit lizard's coming to your pit,"
Yeah. My brother has some good faces. Cracks me up. But yeah, no, I would love to have Steve come up sometime.
I'm thinking, I'm thinking about it. I'm really thinking about it.
I think Steve would enjoy just checking it out because
that is true. That is true, Eric. Do not give him a brand new part. He will drop it and break it.
So that's why you put those shiny new headers on the car instead of Ryan?
Well, that digital rev limiter that I got?
Right.
Like a $300 part. I handed it to Ryan, and all of a sudden he just drops it.
Oh, shit.
And one of the knobs broke off. And I looked at him and I go, "What the?" And he goes, "Oh, I am so sorry." And I said, "Well, good thing we can use a screwdriver to change that."
Right. So basically, with tires in general, I mean, it depends on track condition. It depends on how you prepare them and the
temperature.
Temperature, yeah, because like I said, 3 weeks ago when I went, it was cold. The track didn't take. It was dusty all night. And because I usually go to the pits afterwards for like an hour, talk to some of the racers because a lot of them are real good friends. They're like, "Yeah, those tires did not do anything for me because that track was just," which is another thing we'll probably talk about in the future episodes is about different tracks and how it's prepared and stuff. So, like I said, I want this show to be informational and fun and about dirt track racing because there's nothing wrong with the NASCAR shows and things of that.
Yes, there is.
Well, there is to a degree. I get that. But my point being is I wanted this show to be informational so that way people can go back to the shows, rewatch the shows to see if there's information that we can give them to help them out because I'm all about helping out dirt track racing because and this ties into the mental health part because like I said, I want to talk about mental health. With me personally, when I go to the dirt track for 4 to 5 hours on any given Saturday, Friday night, Sunday, I feel like there's nothing going on in the world. I'm at peace. I don't think about my issues. I have fun, watch cars going for 50 miles an hour, 50 laps at 100 miles an hour, just going sideways, turning right to go left, not go left, Mr. Boss TJ.
Well, if you do it right, you're turning right to go left.
Right.
Unless it's pushing like a bulldozer.
Right. So, again, that's my honest personal way I can feel with mental health. And if there's a weekend where there's not racing, I just don't feel good at all. Like this weekend, I'll be okay because I'm doing this show because it deals with dirt track. After the show, I'm going to a bunch of friends that I meet all the time at the track, beforehand. And we're going to, go there, talk probably about dirt track racing and having fun. So since, again, we're talking about mental health a little bit, like with Steve, for instance, and he can confirm it, it seems like if he's on doing a podcast, it seems like he's happy.
99.9% of the time.
Most of the time, yes, if there's no drama going on. But you're always going to have some drama sometimes, which is good. And I don't know about Ty, but what would help you with something?
So like so a lot of people don't know this, but I was a deputy for 8 years. My mental health was bad when I was in that
Right.
work.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I would come home and drink every night.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I remember you telling me stories about that.
I mean, the shit that I've seen, the shit that I had to deal with.
He
You know,
drink a handle of Woodford Reserve every
I
night.
mean, it was bad. The only thing that kept me going was my son,
Right,
straight up. I mean, and then when I met my wife now, that helped tremendously.
right,
And then I got out of law enforcement altogether, and that has been a godsend.
right.
I work at Caterpillar now, um,
Oh.
and it's so much easier. I can go in there for 8 hours, come home, and not have to worry about anything.
Oh yeah.
I don't have to worry about a phone call saying, "Hey, you're forced in tomorrow at 6 a.m." or
Yeah.
"Hey, did you do this to this inmate?" or
Wow.
blah 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 blah.
Right. The only thing you got to worry about is not setting the car on fire.
Yes, that's one thing I have to worry about now. And when it comes to mental health, I mean, it is important to me. I mean, I've lost a couple classmates to mental health.
Yeah, so did I. You're right.
And it's important. Steve can confirm this, and I hope 420 gets to experience this, but nothing is like when you go over that hump and you're on that track.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you
Mm.
could be,
Right. I get chills all the time whenever I see those late models with their 700,000 horsepower engines come over that hump. And then, because at Peoria, when they do the time trials, they'll have 3 cars come up, and when they come over, and all of a sudden you hear that, "Wah!" right there on the back stretch, you're like, oh, yeah.
I mean, even though Steve only did a Hornet, which,
but now don't get me wrong. I have been behind the wheel. I packed the track in a late model, and I packed the track in a model. But I raced competitively.
Yeah.
In a Hornet.
But nothing gives you that feeling when you come over that hump and get on the track, and you get that high RPMs, and you kick it back into high, and you're just, it's tunnel vision. I mean, you are so focused on that nothing else matters.
The stands could be fucking full. You don't see a fucking soul.
I don't see anybody. Honestly, the only time I kind of pay attention is when we do the wave lap.
Yeah, yeah.
And half the time, I don't even do that. So
I don't remember seeing the checkered flag. I'd say, oh, it must be over. We're pulling off the track.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing for these radios.
Oh yeah.
When the caution comes out, they tell you, "Hey, caution."
And this also ties, no pun intended, tie as in TIE into this. I actually bring a little handheld scanner, and I have the frequencies for the drivers and for the officials there. And again, when I go there, it's my own little world, and getting to hear all that makes the experience for me that much more fun. Because I don't have to second guess why the officials are doing something. I don't have to second guess, think what they're telling the driver, why a driver's doing a certain thing, things of that nature. And it just makes the experience more. And I kind of speak for everybody here for mental health. Our DMs are always open. So if you want to talk, anytime, message any of us, and we'll talk with you. Yeah. Even if we don't say anything, we will listen.
Yeah. As probably one of the only guys on the screen who's actually been in McFarland and has been certified as crazy in Illinois.
Papers too.
Having these connections to people who are willing to listen
Hell yeah.
when shit hits the fan.
Right, exactly.
Very important.
And
I
I
would
could-
rather speak to you now than say your eulogy at your funeral.
Right.
Exactly, and Adam's DMs is open too as well. All of ours, TJ's, DMs open. The host that's graciously let us use his platform to do this show. So, anyway, again, our DMs are open. As you heard, we all deal with mental health in one degree or another. And again, that's why I'm doing this show, because it helps me with my mental health. It'll help Steve with his mental health because he likes the podcasting. And, so basically, as a recap, since it's almost been an hour for the show, we talked about the LaSalle race is going to be May 30th and 31st, Friday, Saturday show with the Mars series. I've always enjoyed the Mars series because that's one of the better series that I've actually enjoyed. But then again, it has a good promoter, and Ty can attest to that.
Right.
The guy who promotes Mars is also the promoter and owner of Fairbury, right?
Yes.
And if you know him, he's a really cool guy. And in a future show, we can actually possibly be interviewing him.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we hope so.
Hope we can. And Ty and I talked about it, and it sounds like it could be a deal once we get bigger, more notoriety, stuff like that. Which I'd love to interview. If they want to give the secrets of the aspects on why your track was like the best track. Everybody loves your track.
Well, voted, I think 3 times UMP track of the year.
3 or 4, yeah, within a 10-year span.
Yeah.
And Ty, in previous conversation with Ty, we'll give you a little tidbit basically on Fairbury. I get them two mixed up. Curl. Curl's the owner. Jeff. Matt Curl. He basically flat out in every single of the drivers' meetings, he basically says, if you don't listen and go to where the officials tell you to, you're in the back. And he don't play favorites. He actually, you said he did it a few times to his brother, Jeff?
Yeah, hell, Jeff spun somebody out one night.
Right.
And they said, to the back. He doesn't play favorites. He doesn't.
And I think, and I think that's another reason why it helps being a popular track is because he don't play favorites. He gets the show rolling where you don't have to holler at the drivers to 2 or 3 laps to get in line.
Yeah, if you don't get in line, you go to the back.
Right.
If you're not in staging, you usually go to the back. So
basically, that's something I want to ask, the driver or the promoters. And we might even have drivers too, besides Ty, of course.
I would say I have a few guys that said they're willing to do it. So
right, and I know a few guys that would be willing to do it too. So like I said, that's the future I see for this show is just interview drivers, ask questions, get dirt track racing out more because, it all ties in with mental health. And I know I'm kind of pounding it down, but it's something seriously that needs to be talked about, especially with guys. Because there's facts out there where guys, they're out of all the unalivements, because you can't say unalive, who
can't say the S word.
Yeah. You can't say the S word on Facebook or else you get blocked. And anyway, my point
and it's not shit.
Yeah. Or stained.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point being is we're here for you anytime. Just message us. And that's why I'm doing the show, to help me out, to help Steve out, to help everybody out, whether it be information we talk about or just whatever in general. So, again, LaSalle, 30th and 31st for 2 times 5,000 to win on Friday, and Saturday is the big show with 25,000 to win. Then we got this weekend, tonight and tomorrow, a 2-day show at Spoon for the Spring Nationals. 10,000 to win for B-Mods.
Damn.
500 to start. And then they're also having 1,000 to win for Hornets. 150 to start. That's this weekend. You can watch it on Flow, or if you're in the area, go to it. Because Spoon's a good track. I've enjoyed all the races I've seen at Spoon.
There's a place in my heart for Spoon River.
It's wide, it's banked, and once those cars, especially the big boys, hook up on that track, it's just, especially the sprint cars on those tracks, holy crap, they're sideways and just balls to the wall, like, and you're like, and within a minute, there's 10 laps for their heats, and it's like,
Oh yeah,
I want more. I want more.
it's only taking them 13 seconds to go around.
I think they're down in the 12s. I think
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
the sprint cars. Yeah.
So that's at Spoon. And last but certainly not least, because there's people that don't care about this track, which I get, but at the same time, I call it my home track because it's the closest. And when I move, it's going to be even closer, which is going to be super cool. Is in 2 weeks, on the 31st, they're going to have the MOA 410 sprints and the Mara midgets with B-Mods, Hornets, and Mods as sponsors. And that's, again, those are going to be some big races there. So
That's next week. So not 2 weeks. Next weekend.
next week, well, I'm counting this week as next weekend. Yes, that's a more proper way to say it. Next weekend. So with that said, this is Fat 420. We got Ty, Steve, and for a final thought-ish, how about we go with Ty? What would you say would be your final thought?
Final thought is good first show. I think we did good.
I think so.
Hope we did good.
It only get better.
Of course, DMs are always open, and you can never win it on the first lap, but you can lose it on the first lap.
Right. How about you, Steve? What would be your final thought?
This was fun. I just, now
Right.
my fucking brain's fucking going a million miles an hour, remembering the old days. And
It
was fun.
I'm sure we could go on another hour.
We
But-
could go on.
I could sit and talk to
which
Ty
we
for
will.
hours.
Right. We could sit. Yeah, and that's why I wanted Ty and Steve here.
Yeah,
So basically, my final thoughts are, again,
it was fun. I'm glad.
DMs are open. This is fun.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted Ty and Steve in here, because you got the new school with Ty, you got the old school
Yeah.
with Steve. So when we talk about tire prep or chassis or something like that, then we can, listen to hear what happened in the old school. We can learn about new school, stuff, just things in general. And last but certainly not least, before we leave, I would like to thank again TJ, the man, the myth, the legend behind Mayhem's Amigos Network, to graciously let us have this platform to do this on. It's appreciated. And until next time, again, if you ain't first, you're last, as Christina said. So peace out. Hope to see you at a track. If not, we'll see you next week at noon.
Happy Memorial Day.
And happy Memorial Day too, yeah.